Race 2 for the Endurance Financial RGB Sports 1000 Championship is about to get underway. It's a longer race this time, and the winner of the first race, Billy Albon, you're on third place, you're in third position on the grid. What can you do from there?
Yeah, same as yesterday regarding the starting position, but the characteristics of the race are completely different compared to yesterday. Obviously yesterday being 17 laps, and this is going to be roughly 30 to 32, something like that, so it's going to be a long race. Lots are going to come to play. Yeah. Tyres, fuel management, generally looking after the car. It's really hot, so engine temps. And it's just sort of it's seeing sort of who goes first, if you like. If the boys in front want to really hammer it, then but they might drop off halfway through. So it's obviously the first time we've done this as well regarding these cars with this championship. So it's sort of an unknown.
Oh, good luck.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
So let's see how all this pans out. I'll hand you up to the commentary box, Andy McEwen.
Thanks, Anthony. Well, race 1 was very entertaining. Let's see what race 2 has to bring. It's Wezemere and Smith on row 1, ahead of Billy Albon and Daniel Lana row 2. Then John Watley and Colin Chapman, ahead of James Walker and Phil Hutchins. Colin Spicer and Oliver Hewitt will round out the top 10. And the one to watch from the back, Danny Andrew had some really good pace in race 1, started from the back and carved his way through into the top 5 before mechanical issues put him out of the race. Right, lights go out, away we go. Not a great start made by Paul Smith there from the outside of row 1, and so Wezemere will have the lead down towards Paddock Hill Bend. Billy Albon's trying to get up the inside for second and can't do it, so it will be the two Mattels that turn in first, and Billy Albon suddenly feels very outnumbered, I'm sure, because he's got two Mattels in front of him and one behind him in the shape of Daniel Lana. He goes around the outside in towards Druid. Big twitch under braking. I'm surprised that he's taking such big risks early on, because as he said himself at the start of the race, the dynamics of this race will be very different because it is that little bit longer. It gives them a bit more time to make their moves, but he's not hanging around. He's going back up the inside here of Paul Smith for second into Surtees. There's no way through there, and still he can't find a way past into the top 2 to split the two lead Mattels. On board with Jonathan McGill here a bit further back in his Spire GT3 as he turns in through clearways. A little bit wide there. Was there anyone up the inside? Don't think there was. Just missing the apex there as they streak across the start finish line. Look at that long line of RGB Sports 1000 cars. What a sight they make, what a sound they make as well. They turn their way into Paddock Hill Bend again. Few being made further back. And looking out for Danny Andrew. Didn't spot him there, so he must have made a bit more progress maybe than I was expecting. Either that or he's gone missing again on the opening lap of the race. Actually we're hearing Danny Andrew is a non-starter. That's a shame. And Neil Gardiner in the BDN, another non-starter. So that is a real shame for all the drivers that I expected to see coming through from the back of the grid. Front of the grid, these are the top 3 cars, and that is Paul Smith, who was our race 1 leader, you remember, until he threw it all away with a spin at Surtees. He was then recovering and had another spin late on in the race that put him out of the race altogether. So Paul Smith looking to try and rebound from that with at least a podium result in race 2. Back across the line into Paddock Hill Bend, and Billy Albon continuing to apply the pressure and really pushing on there as he comes a little bit wide through Paddock Hill Bend. Smith and Wezemere, the two in front of him, but can he find a way through into second? You would imagine he has the pace to do this. Maybe he is now thinking of being a little bit more patient. That's another look at the inside there. Paul Smith knocks out one of the bollards on the inside of the corner. They're pulling away there quite quickly from Daniel Lana behind, so Daniel just doesn't seem to quite have the pace that he had in race 1, where he was able to finish second and really put his teammate Christopher Wezemere under some real pressure. Christopher, of course, succumbing to that pressure and handing second place back again late on in the race. Leading 3 make their way back out across the start finish line. Billy Albon, the reigning champion, of course. He is looking to try and repeat that feat here in 2018. There's Daniel Lana, then it's John Watley next in line, and then the white car, I think that was Colin Chapman next through. Some of the battles further back. The inside there is looking Oliver Hewitt, trying to find a way past Phil Hutchins, and he gets up the inside on the extra Paddock Hill Bend. Jonathan McGill will get a run on the pair of them and goes up the inside of the pair of them. If this works, this will be amazing. Gets the car stopped, and 2 moves, 2 places gained in 1 there for the ex-MG Metro racer. And Jonathan McGill, with a really, really nice bit of racecraft there, gains 2 positions. So Oliver Hewitt loses a position in all of that. Well, actually, Oliver Hewitt stays where he was because he found a way past Phil Hutchins. He was then immediately passed by McGill, and now Hewitt is trying to get past McGill on the way into clearways. Spire here versus the Phoenix of Oliver Hewitt. Oliver in the only Phoenix racing in the Endurance Financial RGB Sports 1000 Championship here this weekend. And it's got good straight line speed, the Phoenix, it always has, and it gets up the inside of the Spire, which excels in the corners. But the Phoenix relatively late on the brakes anyway, and there was a recovery vehicle there was a life snatch vehicle off to the left hand side of the road that was recovering a car that I believe is Tim Hovard's Sabre that went off on the first lap, and second lap, excuse me. And I wonder whether Oliver Hewitt might get in a bit of trouble for that one, for overtaking with the yellow flag. We'll have to wait and see. So back out along the Cooper Straight goes this 6-car train, isn't it, a bit further back. We can see that Mark Betts there, the black car 50 line, is involved in this too. He's trying to find a way ahead now of Phil Hutchins, who in turn is trying to get past the 31 machine of Colin Spicer, who we haven't mentioned so far today. Colin running well inside the top 10 here in race number 2. Across the line they go again, and Mark Betts, beautiful looking Spire GT3, is starting to feel the pressure now from cars behind. Still that live snatch in operation at Paddock Hill Bend, which is why I would imagine that there are yellow flags, but that waits to be confirmed. Back out of Druids, down the hill they go again, in towards Graham Hill Bend. Tyres working hard there to try and keep them on the road. They all run on semi-slick tyres to the RGB Sports 1000 cars. They are road-going bike-engine cars, essentially, naming itself the most affordable sports racing car championship in the UK, and you can see why. You have lap times that are some of the quickest in any form of motorsport in the UK for relatively low cost. There's no such thing as cheap motor racing, but this is certainly cost-effective motor racing, getting an awful lot of track time. The cars are a lot of fun to race, and as you can see, the racing is very close indeed. So that's what makes this championship very, very attractive indeed. Mark Betts having a sneaky peek up the inside there of Phil Hutchins. He's got to the apex of Druids Corner, but the inside for the next corner will belong to Hutchins, who has that inside line into Graham Hill Bend. Betts will try and get the switch back on the exit, but no, Hutchins hangs on. So Phil Hutchins in his Spire keeps Mark Betts in the other Spire at bay. Behind them is the TGM Pulsar of Sam Cook, car number 55, who started this race, where he started race 1 actually, down in 13th. The grid for this one based upon the second fastest lap times from the qualifying session yesterday. Across the line they go, and Betts trying his best here to defend into Paddock Hill Bend. Getting way now slightly in the front of this group is Jonathan McGill. So Jonathan is having succumbed to the pressure from Oliver Hewitt, is now starting to make himself feel fairly comfortable inside the top 10. Down through Druids in towards the left-hander at Graham Hill Bend they go, and in such a long race as this, as we heard Olmo saying before the race got underway, it is crucial that you think about your tyres and you make sure that you don't overwork them in the early stages, because it will come back to bite you a little bit later on, and drivers could run into some difficulties in the second half of the race if they've pushed a little bit too hard on the tyres in the first part of the race. So it's one of the things that we like about this race format that we have this year with the RGB Sports 1000 Championship. It really requires the drivers to think about not just this race, but also their tyre selection for the rest of the weekend, because they'll have a limited amount of these tyres to use over the course of qualifying and 2 races. So if you want to start the long race with a fresh set of tyres, then you have to think about that right from the start of the weekend and decide, how many sets of tyres you're going to use in qualifying, and whether you're going to use the same set of tyres maybe over the course of the whole weekend. Is an option for some teams with a lower budget maybe. Now this is Billy Olbone, and he is right with Paul Smith still. So this is still the same order at the front of the field now. Westmail leads the way, Smith in second, and third place for Billy Olbone. Billy just can't quite find a way through for the time being. They're in traffic now though. This could open the door potentially for an opportunity for Billy to come through. So you can see that despite the fact the positions haven't changed, the top 3 are still separated by only just over a second and a half. So there's the potential for change as the race goes on. We're not quite halfway yet either, so plenty of opportunity for Billy to try and get up there and do the double, but it's certainly, the opportunity is not presenting itself to him just yet. He's going to have to go out there and make the move stick. Paul Smith, the first of his targets to try and find a way past. As he comes back down into Graham Hill Bend, is there a chance maybe to make the move here? The answer is no. Both run just a little bit wide over the edge of the curve. Got to be careful not to get pinged for track limits doing that. Albone sneaking around behind. Of course, the good news for Billy, and this is something that means he doesn't have to be too impatient with this, is that Christopher Wesmail is not really running away with this up the road. So he can kind of take his time as long as he feels that he'll then have the pace to close whatever gap there is to the race leader. But is he going to be able to do that? Let's see. Into paddock, still can't find a way through into second position. Mattel in front, looking very strong this season. And you can see it is a slightly different shaped car, Mattel, to the Spire, a little bit more sloping at the back of the car. Oh, Albone's found a gap up the inside line, goes forward into Graham Hill Bend, the car snakes around under braking, shows the edge of the road to Paul Smith, and Paul has no choice but to back out of it. And that was a forceful but fair move by Billy Albone. The gap was there on the inside, and once he got to the inside line, he was always going to run out wide on the exit so as to make sure that Smith couldn't stick around the outside and try and challenge him into the next corner. So Albone is now second. Can he catch and then overhaul the race leader? That awaits to be seen. Across the start-finish line he goes. Back up towards Paddock Hill Bend. Billy Albone can see the gap there to the race leader Mattel. Mattel's built by Scott and Ian Mattel. Scott Mattel, of course, who up until very recently raced in the championship in one of his cars. Further back then we check in once more with the number 63 car of Colin Chapman, who is dicing away here with number 20 of James Walker. James Walker, the chartered surveyor by profession, now a director of Barclay Homes, a large house builder. And he is a busy boy outside of racing. He sings in a community choir, actually, based in Hertfordshire. And he says on his commentator's form that has been handed to me that he's often seen lurking at the back making strange noises, much like his racing. Well, that's probably not really fair, because James Walker's doing a good job this weekend, dicing away there with Colin Chapman. Colin Chapman from Pershaw, age 60. He is retired, but still enjoys keeping fit, cycling and running outside of his racing work. Tell you what, racing at least still keep you fit, won't they? Oliver Hewitt there as well, who we're seeing battling. He's defending here from Jonathan McGill. Jonathan had a good run on him there towards Druids, but couldn't quite do it there. He forces Hewitt to defend in towards Graham Hill Bend though. Watch for the switchback manoeuvre maybe here from McGill. No, Hewitt saw it coming, moved back over to the left-hand side to defend. So the photographer from Barwell manages to hang on to the position for the time being. Car actually that was built by Tim Gray, former Spire racer and champion in the series back in 2005. It's the oldest and cheapest car on the grid apparently, is Oliver Hewitt's car, and it's really having to defend heavily into Paddock Hill Bend here to try and keep Jonathan McGill at bay. Oh, and there's a cloud of tyre smoke. Now that makes me nervous. Where's that come from? Well, they're both still there, but one of them locked up, I think, and it was possibly Hewitt, because McGill has found a way up the inside into Truids, and you just had to worry there where the two cars disappeared from sight almost side by side, and there was suddenly plumes of tyre smoke, but they both survived. Oh, Hewitt very wide. That definitely will have triggered the track limits cameras that are pressurised sensors on the edge of the curb there to notify race control of when cars run out wide over the curbs. It takes a picture of you as well, so that you can't argue with the clerk of the course when you're pulled in for questioning, because there is photographic evidence there of the transgression itself. So it's a good system, seems to be working well. Installed for a few years now, most motorsport racetracks. So toward Paddock Hill Bend there goes Billy Albone, still chasing down the race leader, but hasn't yet caught Christopher Wesmail. Christopher is now embedded in traffic, and look at the time that he's losing there, in behind Mark Betts. So now is the time where Billy Albone, who himself is sideways into Druids there, needs to start ramping up the pressure really, and try to force a mistake out of the leader whilst they're in traffic. Is it going to happen? He's certainly closing in as they come down in towards Graham Hill Bend. And And indeed, he's right with him now as they turn in towards 30. So this is the battle for the race lead then. The Mattel versus the Spire. We're going to see this quite a few times over the course of 2018, I think. In towards Clearways we go. And can Christopher Wesmail weather the storm here? I think once he clears the traffic, he'll feel that he's got decent enough pace to keep Albone at bay. But as you can see, the Spire just doesn't have quite the straight line. Sorry, the Mattel doesn't have quite the straight line speed that it would like. It's very good through the corners. But when you catch back markers coming out of a corner and then they just drive back alongside you down the straight, it makes life very difficult indeed. He's negotiated the back markers successfully thus far, though. And we are now into the final third of the race. So can Billy Albone find a way through? Is Christopher Wesmail going to be able to hang on? Towards Surtees again, they've really dropped Paul Smith now in third position. Hard on the brakes, this is getting much closer now between the top two, and Albone is right in the slipstream now as they go out onto the pit straight. So could he have a go into Paddock Hill Bend? The headlights are on, which is racing driver code for I'm quicker than you might as well just move out of my way. I don't think that's going to happen somehow. Hard on the brakes, in towards Paddock they go again, and just not quite the room through, but there's traffic in front of them running side by side. One of those cars is Oliver Hewitt, who goes to the outside, and it is Jonathan McGill that he's still dicing away with, and Albone sees a gap on the inside. It's Graham Hill Bend. Oh, that's an aggressive move. It doesn't quite work, and the Mattel hangs on for the time being, but that was exactly what we thought might happen there. Albone could see that the traffic was coming and it was starting to present issues for Wesmail. It's going to present more issues here though, because Christopher's on the outside line. Oh, Albone's got the lead. Billy Albone's got the lead. How on earth did he do that? Somewhere in the traffic, Billy Albone has taken the race lead away. Now we were on board with McGill there, and it seemed as if he maybe had a bit of a whack from behind. And the fact that Christopher Wesmail has not yet come through past him, there he is. So I wonder whether maybe there was some contact between the two of them as Christopher tried to pick his way through. But either way, Billy Albone uses the traffic to perfection to seize the race lead away from the Mattel driver. Now, can Christopher do anything about that and close back in and retake the race lead? Or has he now got to turn his attention from attack to defend because his teammate Paul Smith is not that far behind? So dramatic stuff there from Billy Albone. When the move came, it was over in a flash, but that was a long time coming, that overtake, and Billy, you could see them thinking that through, just trying to figure out when was the best time to make the move, and he decided that in traffic was the best time to do it, and it was Jonathan McGill's car that was going a lap down at the time that the move happened. So Wesmail is now down into second position. Paul Smith is there in third. And fourth place is John Watley, but he's a further 15 seconds or so back. There's a car that's gone off though. That's Oliver Hewitt, who's been off into the gravel at Paddock, but actually rejoins. So Hewitt is going to continue, is he? Yes. Lots of dust and dirt being deposited all over the racetrack, and that will put his battle that he was having, a very entertaining battle he was having with Jonathan McGill on ice. Oh, look at the dust and the gravel coming out from the back of the car. You can see him skating around as he turned into Druids because that was all over the tyres, which means that the tyres just aren't giving you any grip whatsoever. Back through Clearways comes Paul Smith. He's running in third position now. Gordon McGill heading back into Clearways. And the car appears to be slowing, is it? Yeah. Unfortunately for Jonathan McGill, this could be his race over as he comes into the pit lane and into retirement. That's a shame. So back with our third place man, Paul Smith again here. As he is trying now to close in on his teammate there, Christopher Wesmail, but that's not really happening. Is Christopher sticking with Billy Albone? Well, sort of. There is a back marker in the way, so we'll be hoping that he negotiates that back marker with a little bit more ease than he's had to on previous occasions in this race. Yeah, he got past the back marker okay. Paul Smith running all on his own now in third position. Back down into Graham Hill Bend comes this battle further back, which we were watching earlier on. This is the 63 car of Colin Chapman, and in behind him still the number 20 of James Walker. They're dicing over 6th position as they turn into Clearways once more. Chapman hanging on. The silver and green car there with John Watley in front of him. That's also for position. So these 3 cars all fighting for places inside the top half dozen, and they are all, I think I'm right in saying, yes, Inspire GT3s. So midfield pretty much full of Spires in this race. Down through paddock they go again. No change in the order for the time being. Looking to the outside is James Walker. That's always risky though at this stage of the race. All of that dirt and debris that's been deposited off the racing line has made the circuit rather treacherous if you pull out and try and make an overtake. And that, of course, on a tightened technical circuit like the Brands Hatch Indy circuit makes it all the more difficult to find a way through. Because it's not easy to overtake here at the best of times. Paddock Hill Bend is by far the best place to do it, but if you don't have any sort of strict line speed advantage over the car in front, it's hard to pass there. Then all of your other opportunities are now further limited by the amount of rubbish that's been deposited all over the racetrack. Into paddock goes this little trio of Spires, and much more corner speed taken there by James Walker. That means that he is now less than a car length behind as he skates around on that gravel. You can see there, that's exactly what I was saying. You drive out on that gravel and it's like driving on marbles. That's why we call the lumps of rubber that get, oh dear, get deposited on the side of the road. We call them marbles because they have the same effect. That was very close into Graham Hill Bend there. There was a back marker that Chapman was trying to put a lap down, which I think was Ian Kempson in the number 36 MK Contour, who turned in and didn't quite realise, I don't think, there was another car trying to come through, but he'd let the first one through, but then there were another 2 trying to follow suit, which puts that battle on hold for the time being. But they'll all seem to be back with each other, I'm sure. So head back down through Paddock Hill Bend, up the other side into Druids. Hard on the brakes, defensive line taken there. There's Billy Allbone, race leader though, and he's only a few laps from home now. What has been a gruelling race. On this rate we're looking at about 29 laps to get completed, so they won't quite hit the 30 lap mark, but nonetheless it's going to be a long hot afternoon's work for the drivers in the Endurance Financial RGB Sports 1000 Championship. Billy Allbone made that move down at Graham Hill Bend earlier on to take second place away from Paul Smith, and then another move really well executed in traffic to take the race lead away from Christopher Wesemail a few laps later. And Billy looking to try and open his account in 2018 with a double race victory, the perfect way to set about defending his 2017 title. Crosses the start finish line, and at least another 2 laps to go, I think. Maybe even squeeze 3 more, wait and see. Class of the field today. You can see the gap that he's built up over Wesemail and Smith behind. Almost up to about 9 seconds or so now between them. Back out along the back straight, car number 1. Billy Allbone, been racing in RGB racing for years now, multiple race winner. Got the championship last year, which he was thrilled about. And Billy, no one else around him, has he? There's been a few cars have dropped by the wayside throughout this race, and a few, of course, that didn't start. So we're probably going to have less than 15 cars running at the flag here, which is a shame, but it's good news for Allbone because it means that he's got an unimpeded run, he hopes, to race victory. Starting both of these races from 3rd on the grid as well, and in a category where overtaking is not as easy as it is in some other categories, he's done a really good job to work his way through in both instances to a race win in race 1, and looking good, not putting the curse of the commentator on him here, looking good though for a race 2 victory. Back down the straight he goes. You can see that traffic off in the distance. He'll be hoping he doesn't catch it before the end of the race, but I don't think he might catch one back marker. If we get another lap out of this, he might catch another back marker, and I think we will get one more lap just about out of this second race of the weekend for the RGB Sports 1000s. Through he goes. Yep, last lap board is held out. So one more time around the 1.3 mile Brands Hatch Indy circuit for Billy Allbone. Heads up towards the right-hand Druids, and he's going to have to just negotiate, I think, that one back marker, unless he really backs it off, which I think he is. Look, he's running nowhere near the edge of the road, so Billy Allbone is cruising home here to a victory. Back along the up straight he goes. And yeah, I think he's very much driving with conservation in mind here, just trying to make sure he doesn't have to do any more overtaking of back markers than is absolutely necessary. And he comes out of the final corner, and after a very comfortable win in race 1, he really had to work for this one in race 2, but it is a double race victory in the Endurance Financial RGB Sports 1000 Championship for Billy Olbone. Great win for Billy, the reigning champion, starts his title defence off in style with a double race victory. Second place will go the way of Paul Smith, I believe, yeah, and third place for Christopher Wesmail, so there was a late change around there. Then we had John Watley 4th, Daniel Larner 5th, Colin Chapman 6th, James Walker 7th, then Phil Hutchins, Mark Betts and Colin Spicer. We're hearing it was a 5-second penalty for both Smith and Wesmail, actually, for not slowing down on the yellow flags, so, but Smith did get past Wesmail on the track.
Well, Billy, it was a long race. But first, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you very much. That was a tough one, definitely. You know, Mattel boys, they're quick, aren't they? They are quick. We got updates coming to Croft, so that's not the issue. It's just very appreciative that I could get the job done. Come away with 2 wins. You know, the team, Spire Sports Cars, Team Grey Motorsport, they've done a fantastic job over these last 4 days to give me the car to win. So yeah, fantastic.
How do you concentrate throughout all that time? You've got to concentrate on the back markers coming, people behind you.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, it's difficult. I mean, you've just got to take, I know it sounds simple, but take as much of a relaxed approach as possible. Just do it just one lap at a time, because it is, yeah, it's busy. It's busy.
Well, congratulations. Go and enjoy it.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Paul, it was a long race. You come away with 2nd place. After all that happened, you've got to be happy.
Yeah, not too bad. It's a good result for today. We didn't quite have the pace consistently to keep up with Billy and Chippy. Obviously a bit lucky with Chippy, sort of having a problem at Paddock Hill Bend. But yeah, I don't know, mixed emotions. I threw one away yesterday, which was a bit gutting. So.
Well, 2nd place. It's still a good haul of points. Go and enjoy it. Well done.
Yeah, thank you.
Chris, you started on pole. You finished 3rd. It's a tricky race. Throughout all that time, so back markers come into play, and that's what happened.
Yeah, I mean, we got away well actually, for considering my 2nd start in the car. We got away into the lead, tried to get going, making a few mistakes here and there, but about halfway with the back markers coming in, just started to struggle a little bit, and Billy got by, unfortunately. Yeah.
It's been a very successful weekend for you, though.
Yeah, I mean, a massive thanks to everyone from Mattel Cars, Scott, Ian, Paul, my teammate. Just working hard. We've got the pace. We just need to put the race together now.
Well done.
Thank you.